listening to the Career Musician Podcast with creator and host, Nomad. With 20 plus years of experience in the music industry, Nomad has done just about everything to earn a living as a career musician. From being music director to celebrity artists, playing iconic arenas and stadiums, composing for film and TV, and even playing your average local club gigs, he's done it all. Nomad's mission is to empower musicians across the globe with strategies for a sustainable career while blasting stereotypes, and to bring you tried and true wisdom from his colleagues in this crazy business we call music.
Welcome to the Career Musician Podcast. My next guest is a multi-instrumentalist and founding member for a Grammy Award-winning band right here from Los Angeles. He is a black belt in Jiu Jitsu, a cultural ambassador, a free thinker and student of life, and all-around badass. Touring the world with the likes of Santana, Fishbone, Maná, and has collaborated with Gabriel Iglesias, the comedian, Common the rapper, Johnny Pacheco, De La Soul, Eddie Palmieri, and the list just keeps going. I've had the good fortune of working with this dude without even knowing it on 2 films, Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Happy Feet 2. As one of the founding members of this band that fuses Latin, hip-hop, rock, funk, reggae, rap, salsa, jazz, and everything else you can think of, this is their 25th anniversary year. Without further ado, I bring you Ulises from the mighty Ozomatli. All right, on this episode of The Career Musician, we have Ulises from Ozomatli. Uli, thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So, as the intro states, you guys are Grammy winning. You have toured the world umpteen times over. You started back in the 90s. You guys are pioneers. You're on the forefront for awareness of a lot of different things that are bringing positivity to society as a whole. And man, I have to say kudos to you, brother, and kudos to the whole band.
I thank you so much. It's crazy to think about it, but, we're a 25-year-old band. So in band years, that's geriatric almost,
That's right. I like that, band years. Yeah. Yeah.
In band years, and it's crazy to think that, the 6 of us that are in this band together are all original members. Of course, we were a bigger band in the beginning, but the guys that are here, the guys that are still playing are all original members. And, and everybody who is a musician knows and knows musicians knows how delicate that balance can be to keep a band together. And all the variety of issues and problems that could come up that basically help break up bands, So we were really smart in a lot of ways from the beginning, from jump, and we jumped on certain wagons really early that I think kept us together,
Well, man, I'm so glad you started there because myself, as a career musician that I am, I was always the side man for other artists. I was always on tour backing up other people in their band or always working on albums for other artists. Mm-hmm. But I always wanted my own band. And I never got to fulfill that yet. That's still something I'm going to do. So I love the stark contrast between the two. You could either do this as a side person, backing up other people, or you could be a band member. And was that something that crossed your mind early on, or did this happen so organically that before you realized it, you were in a band and it just poof, it was magic? How did that all transpire?
Well, when we all started this band, honestly, I would be surprised if maybe 2 of us actually thought that this band was going to maintain the success it had. Okay. Because a lot of us were in other bands. A lot of us were doing other gigs. A lot of us were doing all kinds of stuff. And I remember, too, having a meeting at our alto sax player's house, rest in peace, Crunchy Espinosa. We were at his house in the backyard, and it was one of those, like, sitting in a circle, like, okay, it's getting there. Who's in and out? Who's in and out? You in and out, and it was like, there was so many of us that were like, I can't make this my first priority, man. da 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 da. So, we've kind of all been there with that idea. And dude, and this is speaking from a saxophone player. Saxophone players, we're never signed members most of the time. Most of the time, horn guys are all like, we got that side man.
Yeah.
We got that sidemanitis. You know what I mean?
That's so true. Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, I've been both. Obviously with Ozo, I've always been a original member, but I've been a side guy before for other projects. And I see the pluses and minuses on both sides of the coin. For example, even like Cut Chemist from Jump, he was always like, I can't really make this my first priority because Jurassic 5 is before this. And then myself, Cut Chemist, as a DJ in and of itself, is my own thing,
Right.
And all of us respected that because he was just so honest with it, So, it's something that, another thing I think that we figured out really early on is that, especially being a band of the size that we are at the time and having so many signed members in the band, I guess, is that there had to be a way, because we had done the publishing splits and the songwriting splits the traditional way, I think, in the first album. And then by the middle of the first album, we already knew we had to make it all equal. We had to make it where a collective of senses, like in a sense where we had to because what I noticed and what I realized too is that in a band that big, when it came to songwriting, all of a sudden it started turning into kind of like a fight in the studio about wanting to put your 2 cents in, whether or not it was good for the song, So it's
Right.
like, if I am fighting for my little chunk of change in the song because I didn't write the lyrics, I didn't write this, but hey man, I wrote the horn line, I did this, I did that. Oh, that's considered arranging, and that's this and this and that. It was like we were going down all these different paths that was going to create a lot of just inequality in the situation. And because of that, I think we survived. And also just our mentality of even for our side guys, we were paying health insurance for them and stuff like that,
Dude.
which is pretty much unheard of.
That's unprecedented, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, this was for all our side guys, we always took care of them in health insurance. We paid people monthly. We've had people in retainer. It's like we realize that we're all kind of in the same boat and we kind of have to help each other, in a certain way to keep this together. As long as people have that positive intention of wanting to keep it together, we can get through the hurdles. Because believe me, and you probably know, every band goes through that moment of fuck this. It's over.
Out.
I'm out. I'm out. Oh, that guy? Yeah. Oh, dude, that guy's such an asshole. Dude.
Yeah, right.
Fuck that guy. It's just and we've all, it's funny because back in the day, we used to call it your boy. Who was the problem child in the band? Oh, that's your boy. That's your boy. Hey, man, what's wrong with your boy, man? Why is he fucking tripping about, da 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 da? Why is he, So everybody's been your boy,
and then it's another. And then the person you're talking to, why has he got to be my boy? No, I'm not my boy.
What? I'm not condoning that behavior.
Right. And you're like, but you brought him in. Right.
That was your guy, man. No,
right.
So we've been through a lot, man. We've been through a lot as a band. Almost splitting up several times, and. We were dude, even before that whole some kind of monster Metallica movie, we've had issues as a band where early on in our career, we looked for some sort of therapy mediator, whatever you want to call it, a person who could hear everybody's point of view and still be, not on anybody's side, indifferent to political opinion amongst ourselves, the inner politics of the band. So early on, we were doing these group team therapy kind of things where we were trying to figure out ways to basically call each other out on each other's shit and have a productive, positive way of of just basically squashing those beats, you know?
That's brilliant.
But dude, it took years. It took years.
So it was effective though. You found like a therapist, or how did you guys go about finding that person?
Well, our first manager, Amy Blackman, she introduced us to our first kind of like therapist, I guess if you could say.
Yeah.
And that was in a very, very, very dark time in the band. And since then, we've had different people, though. We've worked with different people through the years. It's not like we just stuck with one person. We've worked with different people. And it almost allowed us to like be able to like a toddler, be able to take our own steps where we don't need somebody to like mediate every time now that we have beefs with each other. We could kind of like call a meeting and confront each other in a way where it's not like threatening to the other person, but you're calling them on their shit.
Right.
And then I think to this day, though, if something nuclear happens, something really fucked up where it's like, dude, we're in DEFCON 4 type shit with the band, I don't think any of us would be at all like hesitant in calling somebody in to mediate the problem, you know?
Man, that is such a mature way of handling things. And it just speaks to your business ethic. I mean, you guys have nailed this. As far as I'm concerned, the whole premise of the career musician is all about business acumen, being a musician. Because when you start being a musician, you don't think, oh, I'm going to turn this into a business and make money, and it's going to be my livelihood. That's not why you start, because you fall in love with music, and that's why. But then as the trajectory takes you across the pond, right, then you figure it out. Okay, whoa, now we have to implement that business standard. And you guys did just that. I mean, like you said, health insurance, taking care of your side man, having these meetings, having a band therapist. This stuff is brilliant. I was actually going to ask you, it's the perfect dovetail. Do you have like written contracts amongst the band members aside from publishing splits? How did you guys devise that? Because this is very smart that other bands might want to, take some of these ideas.
Yeah, totally. Like early on, we didn't have like a band contract. But then it got to a point where it was maybe like, I don't know, maybe the third or fourth time we almost broke up or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it had more to do with the money aspect of it. And then I believe we did draw up like a band agreement, I don't
That's
know
beautiful.
if it's, and it's not nothing that's like super draconian, you broke the contract, man. It's kind of just something that we just have in place for, I guess for everybody's sake, But
that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah. And we've gone through it all, man. Because you gotta see that, like, as far as Ozomatli was concerned, we were at that tail end of mid '90s where the old model was still very much alive, as far as like what advances were and artist development. Yeah. And a tour support, just crazy concepts like that, man.
Like what the music business was founded on, right? Yeah. Shit.
Like not just like fucking kicking you to the curb, like after your first album or your single. It's like sometimes I think about it, like, what if they would have kicked Led Zeppelin to the curb? They wouldn't have been Led Zeppelin 4, right? Or Led Zeppelin, whatever the fuck. It's just like there's so many times where of course, again, the positive and negatives of the environment and the times we're living in. That's one thing that breaks my heart sometimes, is to see like an artist just come out with one thing and then it's like that's it. Like there's no more love, there's no more push for them, and they probably have invested their whole lives into this, obviously, and that's one of the rough things about kind of the modern industry and how it kind of is going,
Man, that's something I actually read this from a previous interview, I believe, where you were saying, the whole strategies of how to release albums, and if you don't have the machine on your side, then you're never going to get heard. And bro, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, and it's funny because I always call it the machine too, and it's like, now music has become such a fucking commodity that unless you have the machine, that commodity is never going to be heard by the masses. And
it's a fucked up reality for musicians to like swallow.
Yeah.
Because we're so connected to our art. We fucking sacrifice our lives, our social lives, our family lives, our whatever development to do this and to be this, and for it to just turn into like what it has become is a hard fucking reality for a lot of musicians to swallow. And believe me, I have to put a little bit of fucking sugar in it myself because it is hard for me to swallow as a musician for I don't know how most of my life. It's like wow, nobody wants to pay for music anymore. Okay, I see how it is. Oh, motherfuckers don't want like just the way, obviously, with the development also of studio technology and everything. It's like everybody has music. Right. It's almost like that person who comes up to you and is like, oh, I got a friend who will do it for way cheaper. Yeah, okay, man. It's like the supply is overwhelming the demand at this point. It's really, so my whole thing is like, well, what do we got that other motherfuckers don't? What do we have that we can like really, and of course it's always been our live show. It's always been our live performance. Because honestly, that's like one of the last things is us as musicians they can't bottle that up, man.
Nope.
You can't be in your living room watching like a festival like Glastonbury or Coachella and be like, yeah, man, this is the thing. Fuck no. You want that thump. You want that feeling of all these. It's so primitive and tribal and like it etched into our DNA of us as a creature on this planet, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that they still can't bottle up, and it's the one thing that it was like always been. Because Ozomatli as a band, we've never had like a massive commercial hit. We've had some commercial success, but we never had that one song that was like, oh my God, that's you guys, right? So our live show has always been that vehicle that everybody would, our reputation would always precede us. It's like, oh yeah, Ozomatli, yeah, I heard they put on a great live show.
That's right.
Hey, that sounds like fun. Let's go see them. And sure enough, they come, they have a great time. They have they have their life experiences there, and it connects it to something way deeper, So, obviously with COVID, all that's kind of taking a shit, but that was the thing that we had, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's so true because when I first got turned on to you guys in the early 2000s, I was like, first of all, I heard it and I was like, who the hell are these guys? I love them. Like immediately I was like, okay, how come I'm not in that band? Like I was mad,
Right.
And then the further I got into it, I was like, oh shit. Yeah. Now I have not had the chance to see you guys live yet. So I can't wait for hopefully one day that it comes back because I am going to be there.
Oh yeah. I mean, the last live show we did was kind of cool because it was one of those drive-in shows. We did it with Fishbone.
My wife told me, yes. It's
really, really, honestly, everybody out there, whoever's watching this, if you have an opportunity to go see a live show that way, I'd say do it, especially if it's a band you like. It's different, but it's definitely helpful. And it's a good time, honestly.
Right. Do you have any more of those drive-in shows on the books currently, or?
As of right now, that's the problem, though. As fun as they are and as cool as they are, they're few and far between.
Yeah.
And I think all of us as bands and artists, we're all kind of like scrambling to think of like what is going to be the thing to do, whether or not it's the projections, because I have people talking to me that the shit's not going to pop off until 2022. Then I have people telling me, nah, man, by summer 21, you'll be good.
You'll be right.
I mean, did I think we were even going to, honestly, when this whole thing popped off, we were recording a new album in El Paso, Texas.
That's
at
right.
At this beautiful studio called Sonic Ranch.
Sonic Ranch, dude! I was just going to say, that place is amazing. I did one album there. I'm so glad you guys worked at Sonic. Wow.
Yeah, we were there for like over close to 2 weeks. And
that's amazing.
You know the vibe there. You live there basically.
Oh, you live there, and they cook for you every day.
Yes,
they make the ladies of the house. They make the most amazing burritos and breakfast. I mean, just ridiculous. Yeah.
So we were out there, and David Garza was producing us, and we were having a ball, man. And I mean, of course, then this whole thing was coming out in the news.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was like, oh, this is SARS part 2. Like, this will probably be all like said. I mean, believe me, like, we had so much on the books. We were going to go to Hawaii, New Year's Eve gigs, you name it. And, it's just about adaptation now.
Yeah. Now, this one I see on the tour, it says Rialto Theater in Tucson, Arizona, the 23rd of October. I see it on the page. Is that happening?
Probably not.
Okay, so it's kind of sensitive. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Probably.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. Maybe I don't know. I'm pretty sure most of our gigs are not happening.
Okay.
Unless something new. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm like, oh my god, I got a gig! Woo!
Yeah. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's the other thing. We've done streaming things.
Yeah.
We've done like where we play in a room and they film us for their virtual events. We're trying to do whatever we can, and in any way we can to stay connected.
Absolutely. Now, the current lineup. Is just the 6 of you, right? So it's Will Dog, Raul, Justin, Astrubal, Uli, and Yiro. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I pronounce Astrubal and Yiro correctly?
Asdrubal, but we usually call him Asdru and Jiro. Yep.
Jiro, Asdru and Jiro. Okay. So you guys have been the core, even though, like you said, you had a member that passed, and you had some other sidemen go in and out, right? But you guys have been
the core
since the beginning, since inception. Okay, and then and it looks like, I know you've had so many other things, but in '98 you opened for Santana on the Supernatural tour, and then actually this year is your 25th anniversary. Then being 2020, so that's huge. But like you said, you can't do much for it, right? I'm sure you had some big plans, but they kind of got.
We did our birthday is April 1st. So, we did a big virtual event, we had like a big virtual concert, to celebrate.
Okay.
And, honestly, the way, as far as just my opinion, as far as just like what I've seen I don't know, it's similar with other artists and bands. The virtual thing came out really hot. Out the oven at first, like the first 3 of them were really good for us, and I was just like, wow, this is cool. But I think there was a certain amount of like, after a certain point of people just looking at things on the screen. I don't know if we saw like just a kind of like a decline a little bit, as far as like maybe it's just screen exhaustion. It's like, how much can you party in front of a phone? It's like, I get it, I get it that we all want to stay connected, but man, it is one of those things, No,
I totally feel that. I totally feel that. All right. So, and ironically, you and I have some things in common. We both worked on the Mr. and Mrs. Smith soundtrack. I played all the guitars, the Spanish guitars, and funk and rock guitars for John Powell, the composer. Yeah,
nice.
That was kind of cool. And you guys did, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was it like the party scene when Brad and Angelina?
Yeah, I believe. They just wouldn't use one of our songs in that movie, right?
Yeah.
America. I'm not sure.
Yes, I think so. Anyway, that was super dope. And then also, we both started playing around in our 20s, like professionally. So, and then of course, I was gonna say we just interviewed Fishbone, Norwood Fisher, from Fishbone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a cool cat, and I know you guys have done work together throughout the years.
Yeah, I mean, we always say this, and me and Will Dog will always say this, and first to be like, if it wasn't for that band, I don't know if Ozomatli would have existed in the way it does.
Wow.
Because they were that immensely influential to that scene of musicians in LA at the time. They were to us like the pinnacle, like, And so when we get to play with them or get to hang out with them or get to just vibe with them, it's it's always, at this point, it's kind of like colleagues, but still I have that certain amount of respect, and I know they love us and we love them. And we've shared a lot of cool things with Fishbone.
That's amazing, bro. Amazing. And Norwood was a sweetheart, just, the best of the best. And I love how what you just said. It's like this, they developed like this cultish kind of underground scene out here in LA. And then it just, like you said, it caught on, and you guys are the same, of that same vibe. So,
right. And well, I mean, totally. But I remember like junior high, man, like when I was in junior high, it was like, there's no better band than Fishbone, man. It's like no other band mattered. Red Hot Chili Peppers, none of that. It's yo, you want the real deal? Like what? Go to a Fishbone show, man. Like, oh, dude. As they said, Fishbone's red hot, right? That was always like their thing. And Angelo being one of like the best frontmen in the world, and the band. I mean, now they got Fish back on the drums, and it's ridiculous, and Chris is back.
Yes.
So they're like one guy. I mean, dude. I mean, they're just amazing bands,
Yeah, I worked with Fish once before in another band. He was a cool dude, super cool dude, man. I was so stoked to be able to work with him. Yeah. So, okay. So,
killer drummer, dude. Killer drummer.
Oh, stupid. Like, wow. The groove is just like ridiculous. Yeah.
Stupid, right?
All right. So talking about that had to be, like you said, you guys were still kind of in that old band model when the music business still had an actual working model. You guys toured like crazy. From your perspective, talk about tour essentials. How do you pack? How do you prepare? What are some of the little touring tips that you've learned over the years? Do you have any insight like that?
Okay. So of course, style of packing has changed through the years. You know what I mean? And you have to be able to like think about it from like, okay, how long are you going to be out on the road? Is it an international tour? Is it just a national tour? Are you going to be out? Are you going to be basically living out of the bag for the rest of the summer, or only for a month or a couple weeks?
Right.
But I'm one of those people who like to pack light, in some ways. As far as essentials is concerned, of course, have your clean underwear, have your clean socks.
Yeah.
One of the funnier stories I always remember was like, as an early band, Justin Poré, our percussionist, his father, Greg Poré, is like a legendary session musician in LA, and had worked with all kinds of people, you name it.
Yeah, I know his name.
Justin had grown up with all kinds of people, dude. So one time we were on the road, and he was like, hey, let's go. We were all like, hey, let's go see Earth, Wind & Fire. And Justin's like, oh, I know those dudes. I grew up with those guys. So here comes Verdine, from Earth, Wind & Fire. Happy to see Justin. Like, damn, you got big, man. You got big. Oh, this is your band. This is your band. And I remember one of the first things he said was like, okay, guys, you on the road? Take your vitamins and don't forget your rubbers. And we were just like, what? So,
that is
but
hilarious.
back to that was just a funny story for me, just from hearing like, what's a touring essential?
Right.
For me, it's always been like, I'm still kind of an old school guy. Like I still love my iPod. It's funny because people think it's so kind of like old, but I have so much music, and I always want to be near it. And I don't need internet. Like, I just want my music by me.
Right.
So for me, having my music as something to listen to music in the room has always been essential for me. And
so you bring a cool little like speaker, a little Bluetooth speaker or something?
Back in the day, it's evolved too. Because back in the day, it was like, like a straight boom box.
Right.
To like, we went through a computer speaker phase where we would just buy computer speakers and blow them out. And then to now, like, what people have nowadays is like kind of your Bluetooth speaker kind of thing. And so that's kind of definitely one of the essentials for me. It's funny because some of the guys in the band kind of consider me kind of like Boy Scoutish with my touring stuff, You know, it's like, I need a toothpick. Well, ask Uli. He has it. Oh,
I love that.
You know, I have all kinds of shit in my bag, you know, because that's the other thing. It's like, if I'm touring and I put stuff underneath the plane, there's going to be a mentality in my head that like, you might not see that shit. That shit might be lost.
Bro, that's real. Yes.
So like I have certain essentials. I have like a mini toiletry bag in my backpack. I
do the same thing.
One set of socks and underwear in my backpack at all times, just because you never know. Like if you get stranded, it's happened to me, man.
Yeah.
You get stranded at an airport. You're like, what? The next flight's going to be tomorrow, guy. Oh, your bags? They're stuck back there. Fuck you.
Gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? You know, so, and touring internationally, you know, just like all the like things that you might need or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of hard for me to like, even just thinking about it, like breaking it down. Cause like part of me is like, only bring so many socks, only two pairs of pants, only da 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 da. You know, it's like, you know, one pair of shorts, two pairs of shoes, you know, like I'm all kind of like just thinking of all the rituals that I go through right before I hit the road hard, you know?
Yo, I'm so glad you said ritual because I do the same freaking thing. And it takes, sometimes I procrastinate, which I hate, by the way, because now it's like the night before and maybe it's like after dinner, you had dinner with the family and now it's like 8 o'clock. You're like, oh shit, now I have to figure out how the hell I'm going to build this packing schematic, right? Like, and your brain is just over processing. And so I like to try to pack 2 days before I go, right?
Yes.
To give yourself some leeway. Yeah.
That way, that shit is just sitting by the door.
Yes, bro.
Ready to go. Oh. And if you've forgotten anything, you remember. You're like, oh, shit, I forgot that.
That's
I
right.
Put that in the fucking bag, man.
So if you leave on Thursday, start packing Monday or Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like, man. And that's the thing. It's like we've been, there was a time in our career where we were on the road like 10 months out of the year, man, 9 months out of the year, like for sure. So,
man,
a lot, you know, just a lot of like, and that's the other thing too, you know, it's like certain stuff, you don't have to panic if you forgot it, man. You know, it's like, oh, right, hit up the Target. You know what I mean? Like, certain things you're going to be like, oh my God, I fucked up. Like, how did I not pack that?
Like your in-ears? Can you imagine if you forgot your in-ears now?
Dude, or you know, I've had those moments, those like real I stupid fucked up moments, you know, and I remember one time we had a gig out, kind of by like the John Wayne Airport, like a little past that.
Oh yeah.
And we weren't coming home after that gig because we were going to fly out of there and go hit the road. And I had forgotten my melodica or something that's like I need for the set.
Right.
Yo, I called an Uber and I was like, I told my wife, just put that thing in the back seat and bring it over here. And it was like, and I followed it and like, boom, it got.
Wow. Talk about modern advancements saving the day, right?
Yeah, just like, oh man. Part of me is like, how am I going to drive home in the middle of the night just to get that thing?
Right. That is awesome, man. All right. Well, let's talk about that because you are a multi-instrumentalist. And now, did you start on saxophone?
No, I actually started on a classical piano.
Wow.
Like most people, I wanted to play guitar, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I want to learn guitar, man. I want to learn electric guitar. My dad was a violinist and had studied in Spain and whatever. And
oh, wow.
Because he's from out there. And classical violin. So his whole thing was like, okay, that's nice, but you should start on the piano. Right. I'm like, nah, you know, like, oh.
Yeah, you need that foundation. But
I ended up taking about like almost close to 15 years worth of piano lessons. Like, like I was actually pretty decent towards the end, like where I could like memorize Rachmaninoff pieces and things like that.
I was just going to say, do you still have the repertoire under your fingers? Okay. Okay, because in classical music, it's all about the repertoire, right? You got to have that repertoire.
Yes, you got to have the repertoire. Like maybe if I sat down and really put time into it, I could churn out an invention, one of those Bach inventions.
Oh, yeah.
like the pieces I used to be able to play, I don't know if I can pull that off anymore, just because I don't invest time in it. I don't practice it anymore. Yeah. You know, it's like, for me now at this point, keyboard is just more like functional. Like, I don't need to learn fucking Rachmaninoff. I just need to learn a part. That's easy. Okay. That's easy. You know, like if I know a part and I can figure it out, I have enough chops to do that. So like, if you teach me a part, teach me the chords,
right,
or let me know what I need to do, I can figure something out. But I'm by no means a keyboardist, or I wouldn't hire me for a gig. You know what I mean? So,
but I think especially as we morph into artists and our own voices, that's what happens. Like you said, it becomes more function than just learning all the.
So from piano, I went to clarinet.
Nice.
And I studied classical clarinet for years. But then there is that moment, the logical next step for most clarinetists or woodwind people is you start playing sax. So I started playing sax about in the 7th or 8th grade. And then it's funny, then I went back to guitar. I started wanting to learn guitar like in the 8th or 9th grade because,
nice.
And part of it was interesting because sax, clarinet, and piano were so formal in my training, like very like lessons with really good people, great music professors, learning the classical repertoire, learning the history, learning the music theory, all that shit.
Right.
That when I wanted to learn guitar, I was like, I don't want lessons on guitar. I took some classical lessons on guitar just to kind of get a little bit, but I got to a point where I was like, no, I just want to learn songs I like.
Yeah.
And I want to learn fucking bar chords and Ramones songs and shit like that. So, that kind of like gave me a kind of a musical outlet from the formality, so which is kind of cool. So,
but you had that tremendous, you had that tremendous foundation. Like, see, that's something that I try to impart to the younger generations. Like, listen, don't sleep on putting in the time with the classical technique, jazz harmonies and understanding of that, and overall theory, because once you have those foundations, then you can do anything you want. That's exactly what you did.
Yeah. And also the other thing is that like, even to the much like protest of my classical clarinet teacher, who really did not want me to play saxophone and really did not want me to play jazz.
Right.
Like, his vision of me was probably more apt to like trying to get into the Philharmonic or like some sort of city kind of symphony orchestra, part of me like saw the politics of the classical world and how competitive it was and how intense it was. And I was just like, yo, I don't know if I can hang with that,
It's like militant, right? Yeah.
Dude, it's like 6 to 8. Okay, it's first off, everyone's good.
Yeah,
everyone.
Right.
First off, everyone is already fucking good.
Everybody can play their ass off. Yeah.
When the chair opens up for any position at the Philharmonic, pretty much everybody that shows up can play their fucking ass off. Yeah. And so then it gets to the point where it's like, just like when you watch the Tchaikovsky competition, piano competition, it gets to the minutia of all these like really crazy details in the phrasing and in the this and in the that, and forget the artistic part of it. Then there's the politics of the orchestra, and that guy is an asshole, and that guy's has been in the first chair because even though he's not that good, and and all that bullshit. I was like, this shit sucks. And then I, of course, jazz is so hard too to study. And I was a hardcore jazz fiend in college, like totally immersed myself into that vibe and then that learning and then that style. And the one thing that it's funny, all that formal training totally helped, but it's funny, the one thing that totally got me into like thinking completely out of the box, which is funny because for most horn players, it's like, what are you going to do? You're playing a ska band, So one of the first
from bebop to ska.
So one of the first bands I was in was called Yes Ska, and it was funny because our whole premise for a lot of the guys in the band was like, we took it back to like the old school ska, but we added Tito Puente to it. So we added this Latin ska fusion, and everybody soloed, and everybody got to like play their little jazz licks, and everybody, you know, it was very much almost like a jazz setting, but it had people dancing. And I totally remember that first couple gigs with Yeska where the room went insane and people were just dancing, and I was like, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. You know, like this is where it's at for me, where like the room is alive and people are moving, and then everybody's like, so the next step after that is like Ozomatli. That was like our whole premise from jump. It was like, what style do you know of music? It's like, oh, I know this, I know salsa, I know merengue, I know Jamaican music, I know cumbia, I know this, I know that. But the one thing that unified it all, hip hop, you name it, funk, was wanting to get people to dance. That was like our big thing, you know, and thus the name of the band, because Ozomatli is essentially the god of dance. Okay, so our original drummer, we had another name before, but our original drummer, Anton Morales, was like, hey man, why don't we name the band Ozomatli? And we're like, what does that mean, you know? And he started breaking it down to us. Little did we know that was his birth sign in the Aztec system.
Right.
So he was born in the sign of Ozomatli, so he had known about it. But when they mentioned it to the band, it was just something out, you know, like, whoa, Ozomatli, what's that, you know? So yeah, we named our band after Nahua, you know, like a obscure, not an obscure indigenous, actually very popular indigenous language in Mexico, but I guess obscure to the world, maybe, I don't know.
Or obscure to Americans. Yeah.
But it's very, you know, it's very, you know, I mean, there's people who still study it and speak it, but that's where it came out of, you know. So yeah, you know.
Wow. That's so dope, man. So I love the fact that all of your classical and jazz and all this other training has informed you artistically. Talk about that, because I think a lot of times, especially, look, we see it now, you know, you could blow up on YouTube or Instagram as being a prodigy player. You could have all these chops and just be nuts. But how does that inform your art? And that's what I always want to look at when I see these up and coming monsters, like you say, shredders online. I'm like, dude, I could never play that. Like, oh my gosh. But where is the art? Like, how did that all inform your art? And what do you think that process has been? Well, share about your process. Yeah, you know.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. And it's funny because, you know, I follow a lot of people on Instagram that I'm like, wow, they play so much better than me. God damn.
I do the same thing. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Look at this kid. He's blowing me away. Yeah.
And then I realized but then again, that's another, I mean, I guess for most of us working musicians, we understood this point a while ago, but there's more to it than just playing, man. And of course, playing is important.
Yes.
Get it. Hey, viewer, but check it out. I know people who went to Juilliard and they're not fucking working.
That's right.
You know, and it's like, it's rough, man. And if you're an asshole, guess what? It's going to be even rougher. I don't give a fuck how good you play.
That's right.
You know what I mean? How many assholes can get away with like being the called guy, you know, like very few, man. You gotta be on some Prince level shit.
Yeah.
You know, like where you are, where not only can you put it out, but you can, I mean, you can prove it right there on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's crazy. So I think that, in that development, you know, that's the other thing, you know, it's like, you know, kind of like, what's that argument? It's like if the Beatles never left their bedroom, you know what I mean? It's like, there has to be also, a thing to how you perform, how you connect with the audience, with people, how, you know, very few people can pull a Miles Davis and play to the back to the audience, you know? Very, you know, it takes, who do you think you are? Miles Davis?
Yeah, it takes a Miles Davis to do that.
Who do you think you are, kid?
Right.
No, man, you gotta talk to the audience. You gotta, there's all these other, you know, that's the thing, of course. And I'm sure you've seen this in your own development. There's so many things they could have taught us when we were kids about the music industry, about the musician life that could have been so helpful in supplementing our success, you know?
Okay, bro, again, this is why I built this platform, TCM, because this, I feel it's our job as cats like us who are experienced in these real world, real life shit to go out and teach it. Because nobody taught us it. We had to learn it on our own.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And, you know, and there's a lot of things that sometimes, and I'm not even going to be like younger cats. Sometimes older cats drop the ball.
You're right.
Things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And sometimes the younger cats are the ones that are all fucking pro and shit.
That know their shit. Like, right.
Yeah, know their shit. They're not fucking around, you know? And,
so, you're right. Good point.
You know, so and that's one thing for sure is that, even when I was a young cat, I was very much respectful about my elders.
Yes.
About the giants that I'm standing on the shoulders of.
Yes, we had reverence. Yes.
Dude, I mean, and I still encounter that with certain young people. I do. Right. I mean, one time I was out of the blue, this guy just started talking to me about music and whatever. And he was so detailed in his knowledge that I had to be like, how old are you again? You know, like, how old are you again? And he was really impressive. So, I think there is that thing of that, like in any tradition and in any study, I think that, that you always have to see what things have been tackled before you. That way you don't make the same mistakes. And that way you can tackle it and move on and create a new voice for yourself, you know? Dude. So all my life, I've always had reverence for, you know, my elders in the music industry, all the men and women that have changed, you know, music, you know, and study their shit, or at least, even if I don't dig them, like, know who the fuck they are and know their body of work. Be like, okay, I don't really dig that shit, but hey, I know who the fuck he is. Right. And I know he's a heavy duty cat. Right. You know, like, you know, and so, like, even in that, you know, it's like, and to this day, I'm always like, you know, I listen to new music. I do. And there isn't that many bands where I'm like, oh my God, dude, I got to fucking, you know, like that kind of passion that you have when you're a lot younger, you know, but, listening to music and it being a part of my life is still enjoyable for me. So, you know, it's like, it's just at this point a part of who I am. And I'm always thinking about the people who have changed. And I mean, to this day, there's certain part of me that's like hard to get past 1982 in jazz.
Oh, you know? Dude, I couldn't agree with that more. I'm like
there's don't get me wrong. There's guys that are killer, man.
Yes.
There's guys that are fucking smoking.
Stupid. Right.
And there's a lot of music that I'm kind of stuck in the time capsule, even though like shit, there's a whole new scene of jazz people that are into shit like Snarky Puppy, Lettuce, you know, all these bands that, hallelujah, man, motherfuckers are into like seeing cats play.
Right. Kamasi, you know, Kamasi Washington.
Washington. I mean, that guy is like
great.
Like Kamasi is like you know, top 1% if you think about it when it comes to jazz.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
he
jazz
broke through
as a music that's actually kind of like feeding you.
Right. He fucking broke through. You know? He broke through the ceiling. It's like, oh my gosh. So we're all rooting for him, you know?
And the thing is that I think part of it too is that obviously he's a cool guy. And that part of it too is that like he's tapping into an era of jazz that was so fucking cool. You know, like that Pharoah Sanders, that fucking cosmic Alice Coltrane, like big orchestra, crazy sounds, voices and shit. That's tapping into a really cool era of you know, of jazz, you know?
Yeah, that's
if
perfect.
You want to call it jazz. No, black music, whatever you want to call it, you know?
An amalgam
really
of all,
cool.
an amalgamation of all that stuff. Man, that's so true because one of my favorites is Wes Montgomery, one of my huge influences. And I would much rather listen to some old, you know, 50s and early 60s Wes than listen to something newer, only because for me it has that vintage retro quality and just that I don't know. It's just like it was the original. We're talking about the pioneers, right? So
and well, one of the things too is that when you realize that when you listen to people like Wes Montgomery, or you name it, Jim Hall, or any of those guitar players, or
Joe Pass,
Charlie Christian,
Charlie Christian, yes,
or any of these cats, right?
Any of the cats, right?
You realize that for a lot of these takes, they're just playing, man. It's not like what it is nowadays. It's like with the technology and the time, I might be able to push out a fucking like Coltrane-esque album,
Right.
Like where it's like, oh my God, how did he do that?
Right.
Oh yeah, I did this.
Copy paste, snip,
or do whatever,
whatever, yeah.
Most people that have recorded from the era of tape to now, it's like when we recorded our first album on tape, and I remember just like the drama that was like that covered the studio when you had to cut the shit, or like all just crazy shit, and just like nailing your part, like really fucking nailing it, like really being able to play it. And if you didn't play it, you're wasting fucking time,
Which was money,
Yo, this is Ulises Bella from the mighty Los Angeles born Ozomatli, and you're listening to this wonderful podcast, The Career Musician.
Sign up for the Career Musician newsletter at thecareermusician.com.
Help us continue to provide you with new and engaging content by getting our ratings up. Please subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
And your heart's going like this, and you're like, oh man, like motherfuckers are gonna start calling the union.
That
like,
anxiety, right?
Can play. Get Plas Johnson down here; he'll nail it real fast. Fucking R.I.P. Fucking Buddy Collette. He was a teacher of mine back in the day, but he was like famous ass saxophone musician in the anyway. But
right.
Yeah, man.
Man, that is such good stuff. All right, so I love the fact that we've covered really everything, man. And you've shared so much of your principles and methods and concepts, how you think. So thank you so much. Do you have any, words of advice? Let's say some young person is listening to this, and I don't know, Idaho, and their dream is to come out to LA and make it as a musician. What are you going to tell that person?
Okay, wow, that's heavy duty, because I'd be like, yo, stay your ass home in Idaho, homie. No, I'm just
so would I. Well, because nowadays you can do it from anywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, okay, one cool thing that is now that would have never fucking happened back then, right, was exactly that. Like, there's people that can pump out a song and become viral, have millions of fans without a help of any machine. That is fucking cool to me, whether, and there's plenty of people that through, your YouTubes or your whatevers, they blew the fuck up. And I think that's amazing. I think that's like one of the cooler things about what is the new environment, the present, but
have you heard of
somebody like, for somebody like that, like the Idaho guy, I would just be like, listen, man, be realistic in the environment and your intentions. If you're doing this because you love this and you don't know anything else, like music is part of your fucking inner core DNA, the root, by all means, do it, man, and put everything you've got into it. If you're coming here with remember, like, Spanish people who speak Spanish, pajaritos en la cabeza, like, if you're coming with little birds in your head thinking you're going to be the new fucking whatever, you think you're going to be the new Kanye West, the new this, the new that, the new fucking, Post Malone, whatever.
Yeah. Como mierda.
Like, that's, you're fucking up, man. If you think, if you're doing it just for the fame and the money, you're going to be gravely disappointed. Now, true. Hey, man, maybe you luck out. Maybe you hit the lotto. Maybe you got that je ne sais quoi that fucking all of a sudden everybody wants to give you $5 because you do what you do. God bless you. But I think for the 99.99999% of us, we're actually in the trenches of this shit. It's got to be motivated by love, man. It's got to be motivated by this is what you want to do. Whether I'm going to fucking have caviar or whether I'm going to eat cup of noodles every day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's and I've had both, and I'm okay with living in the middle, bro. You know what I mean?
Right. I love it. Well, hey, man, that's what rice and beans are for. They're filling, man. They're nourishing.
Yes.
I love it, man.
Yes, they are.
I would say, like my dad always used to say, "Como mierda." It's like, you're eating shit. Don't think that you're the shit. Just wake up, man. To have that realism. Yeah. And
it's true. And it's true, man. It's just like, and I think that kind of idea, most of us who are know in the industry know what it used to be like or what it was, and then now how it is.
Yeah.
It's like when I hear a youth talk about, I'm going to get that deal. I'm going to blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, brother, come here. Like, let me talk to you real quick. Right. These deals that are popping up now, guess what? They own you, man. They own you. The idea of like certain things back in the day were sacred, bro. Like when we first started, the concept of the label wanting some of your merch money or publishing money, it was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the 360 deal shit. Yeah.
Now it's standard, bro. They want a mordida of everything. They want a bite of everything.
Yeah.
And if they don't like you, they might shelve you, which was a problem back in the day too.
Yeah.
But it's just like, the one cool thing is that you could be your own machine, and if you get big enough, the machine will start paying attention to you. But don't think that these labels are going to be like your savior, man. Because especially nowadays, they're meaning less and less and less and less, and how music is distributed and consumed, right?
Man, no truer words have been spoken. Wow. Thank you for that. So everybody listening, if you're out on the hunt to get signed or to get a deal or just to even make it in the music business, listen to what Uli just said. That shit is on.
And get a lawyer.
Yes. Amen. And a good accountant, right?
Yes. Dude, don't fuck around. Don't think you're going to be able to read that legalese by yourself and your homie around the block fucking is a fucking clerk at the county.
Right.
Dude, get an entertainment lawyer that's legit.
That's right.
Have them go through that shit. Have them get that fucking pen, that Sharpie.
That red line, baby.
Lawyer Sharpie.
Yep.
Start fucking changing things for you because, el que no llora no mama, baby. You know what I mean? You got to cry. You got to scream. You got to like stand up for yourself because, man, it like I said, at this point, especially how we are as a music industry now, if you're not motivated by love, I don't know what to tell you, man. The only reason why I'm in this still, because any rational person would be like, oh, you're in a profession that could be dead for the next year and a half, Right. Most people would be like, oh, I better find another job. It's like, no, this is plan A, B, and C for me, dude. Like, I got to do this as a living,
I'm so
one
glad
way or
you
another.
Said that. I'm so glad you said that.
But hey, if you catch me grinding out there doing something else, just say hello.
Yeah, right. And there's no shame in that either. It's like,
no,
hey,
of course not.
You got to support your fam.
I know people who have amazing jobs and they do the music thing on the side almost as a fun thing.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, you don't even have to do this. It's almost like a hobby for them. God bless them.
There you go. All right. Switching gears. Do you mind if we do some rapid fire questions?
Yeah, sure.
All right. And we'll wrap it up with this. Favorite food?
Ooh. Favorite food wise, I'm going to go with 3 different cuisines.
Oh, I love it.
Mexican cuisine.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking amazing, right? Spanish cuisine because it holds a dear place in my heart with my family, and Mexican cuisine too, obviously, and Japanese cuisine. My wife's Japanese, and I always loved Japanese food from when I was a kid. But to go over there and eat it and just live off of it for like a good month, man, I love it.
That's so cool.
But don't get me wrong, I love all kinds of food.
Right.
Like in my neighborhood, there's a lot of Salvadoreños, there's a lot of Cubanos, there's a lot of everything. So, like, I got it all, like, around here. You know what I mean?
I love it. That is so awesome. Where are you at in LA?
I live in Bell.
Okay.
So in the southeast LA. So off the 710.
Very cool, man. See,
I grew up here. I grew up here, so I know this area very well. This area knows me very well.
Yeah.
So,
That's a beautiful thing, man. All right. And to follow it up, to wash it down, favorite libation. What are you drinking with that?
As far as like an adult beverage is concerned?
Yeah. What are you enjoying for the adult side?
As far as well, I like it all, man. I love
Me too.
beer.
Guilty.
I love beer. There's certain food that pairs amazingly with beer, like tacos, sushi.
Yep.
Certain things. But then I love wine too. I love drinking wine, and there's certain food that pairs amazingly with wine. I remember when I was in Argentina, like having like this amazing steak with this amazing wine from down there, or in Chile,
Right.
The Petit Syrah of Chile and all this shit out there, man. Or Australia has amazing wine too. California, of course, Northern California and Europe. Yeah. But I love wine, so I think it depends on the dish, my man. Like as far as like matching, you know what I mean?
That's a good point. Very true. Very true. Favorite sport?
I like basketball a lot as far as watching. As far as participating, I love Jiu Jitsu. I've been in Jiu Jitsu since like 2001.
I'm so glad you said that. You're a black belt, right?
It took me like almost 16 years to do it.
Dude, that's so dope. I forgot to ask you. It's at the top of my notes. Oh man, talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Real quick. Yeah.
So
how did you find time to do that? Yeah.
Well, the thing is that when I first started it, there's this other rap group, hip hop group in LA, real famous one, Dilated Peoples.
Yes.
Rocka from Dilated Peoples was training in it. And there was a moment where I was just like, obviously music has always been a huge part of my life, but I was just kind of like, I kind of want to learn something else, man.
Yeah.
And he suggested that. And at first, honestly, it didn't really resonate with me because I was like, dude, I'm not really like a fighting dude. And I don't want to just be mashed the fuck up by like guys and whatever. Cause at that point, jiu-jitsu was getting a lot of notoriety from like the first UFC and whatever, and the Gracie family. And he's like, dude, I study with the Gracies, come down there and take the first lesson for free. And I was just like, part of me was like, nah, I don't know. And then I started thinking about it and I'm like, look, if you didn't play guitar and Jimi Hendrix came up to you and was like, hey man, I want to give you a lesson, would you be like, no? Right. You'd be like, dude, give me a fucking lesson. And that's how I kind of thought about it. I'm like, dude, one of the baddest families.
Yeah.
The guy's arranging me to have a lesson with one of the baddest families in the fucking who do this shit. I should say yes.
That's
so
right.
I did it, and for the longest time, I just. That's why it took me so long to get a black belt, is because I did it whenever I had time to do it, and I did it whenever I could do it. And I just was on this, I took it kind of like, almost like music or any other art form. Because I took a lot of my mindset of music into jiu-jitsu in the sense where I'm like, look, off the bat, I know I'm not going to be the baddest motherfucker doing this, but I like doing it. And I'm just going to keep doing it and to see how good I get,
That's right.
I'm just going to see how good I get and just never quit, just not quit, And that mentality kind of just always took me. And I never, of course, you kind of care about the belt in a certain sense. But then by the time you get to brown belt, which is the belt right before black, and you get your stripes and shit like that, at that point, you're just kind of on beast mode. You're just like, I don't care if I get a black belt. I just know I can fuck somebody up. I'm like, you know, you're just so invested in the art and just whatever's, and you're ready to just chew dirt, you know, just who cares,
bro.
And so at that point, it took a lot of time, but unfortunately, Jiu Jitsu kind of died because of the pandemic. So it's been a long time since I've been able to practice it, because I have my own little like club where it's a bunch of guys from a lot of different schools. We have our own mats, and a lot of the guys are either musicians or artists or have like different kinds of jobs. And we'll meet around 11 in the morning and we roll. You know, we just have fun and we roll and we talk shit and have a lot of fun. You know,
that's awesome. Have you ever had to use any of your knowledge? Have you ever been in a sticky situation on the road where you're like, all right, let me handle this dude before he gets out of control?
Not serious hardcore.
Yeah. Not
serious. Like one time I put a guy in a choke and he stopped pretty quick.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I think what it is too is that once you have that kind of confidence that you could possibly be able to handle yourself, the way you kind of act in those situations, it's like a lot more calm, because it's like, I remember one time we were in Australia and this guy just bolted out of the alley and ran up on us. And it was like me and the DJ guy. And immediately I was just like, all right, we're about to fucking scrap right here. And my body language was immediate, where I already had a stance and I was ready to like fucking, go at it with this guy. And that guy immediately saw that and he was just like, he stopped. Because I think he was trying to use the element of surprise just to like either sucker punch one of us or whatever. And it was funny because he just stopped. And I was like, kind of like, what the fuck you want, man? You know, like, it was really funny, but thankfully, but it's funny because even being a black belt and studying jiu-jitsu at all this time, I realized how soft I am. Like there's some really tough guys out there, man. And don't ever, judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they say, don't be selling those wolf cards, those wolf tickets, don't be out there fucking thinking you're the hardest motherfucker, because believe me, even with studying jiu-jitsu for as long as I have, some guy can sucker punch you and that's it. This isn't no ninja shit. You know what I mean? Like some guys can just take you out, and that's just reality. But yeah, so jiu-jitsu is definitely one of my favorite sports. Basketball, of course, football, soccer. I mean, I watch it with the family, I'm not any good. I'm not any good at it at all, but yeah.
So would it be safe to assume, my next question, that you spend your free time, if you can, working out with some jiu-jitsu with your homies, or
back in the pre-quarantine, definitely we would meet up at least 2-3 times a week. And after that, we go get food. Like there's this taqueria right here. Yeah. There's this amazing, there's this Cuban deli where it's like for $10 you get this huge plate, and they change the menu every day.
Oh, like, dude.
Rabo encendido, like lechon. I mean, true. It's probably not the best food to eat post-workout. Right. But fuck it,
Tostones and empanadas and
whatever. They got it all there. So there's a bunch of spots like that we'll go eat after, or there's another spot like they have beer and sandwiches, and it's kind of a more social thing. And so
that's cool.
Lately, my thing is that it's been important because at this point, sometimes it feels like Groundhog's Day, bro. Like just the way my life is. I take care of elderly parents. I have my family, my wife, and I don't have no kids, but it's turned into like this, almost like this Groundhog's Day. So I try to maintain a routine of sorts.
Yes.
So like the same way, I was watching all these things about people's mindsets when things like this happen. And I caught on this one guy's channel. It's like Life After or some shit like that. This convict guy that talks about like the mentality that you might have to have when you're like in jail, establishing a routine, right? And I was just like, that's what I got to do. I was like, I got to establish a routine where I wake up, make my coffee, walk my dog, catch up on the news, exercise, eat lunch, like practice,
Yes.
practice my horn, and then by the end of it, like around 4:00, 4:20, I have my little like
That's right.
my 4:20 dub session where I get on the Ozomatli's Instagram and I just like play. I basically play and talk shit and just hang out.
Right? I love that. My wife turned me on to it, bro. Kuda, bro. That thing is so much fun. Super dope.
And that's the whole thing is like, I'm not reinventing the wheel, bro. But it's vibe. Yeah, of course. It's like, I'm not trying to show off chops. I'm not trying to show you how good I am or whatever. It's like, I'm just having fun playing over these rhythms. It's almost like the funkiest, coolest Jamie Abersol, right?
Right.
It's like, like it's just like really cool. And I get to play and I get to do my little thing. And
that's
and
dope.
stay connected with the audience. That's my big thing is this is trying to engage and stay connected and show appreciation to my audience because I want them to know that we're still functioning. The engine, it's not revving, but it's on right now. It's idling. And Ozomatli, we're still operating on a certain level, even though the shows are not happening. But we want because that's the thing. It's like, whereas back in the day, I remember people used to say, hey, man, if you don't record an album in a year, people are just going to straight forget you, Yeah. Nowadays, it's like, shit, like a couple weeks and people forget you, man.
If you don't put out a new piece of content, right, exactly.
Like they say, here today, gone tomorrow. Nowadays, it's like here today, gone later today, right? It's like...
Gone in a few minutes.
So it's constantly keeping that engagement. Like we as far as plans for the future, like we're thinking, we have a lot of outtakes and extra tracks from different projects of the past. Like we had this album called Nonstop, where we mix Mexican music with Jamaican music.
Ooh.
We had a lot of like extra tracks from that. Yeah. So we're already thinking like, hey, let's get some of these tracks. Holiday season's coming up. Release them as some sort of promotion. Get people excited. Maybe buy a T-shirt or two. Get some money in there.
Yes.
And because that's what it's about. And also another project that we've always kind of are always kind of thinking about too is our Ozo Kids project. Is that we have a kids album.
Yes.
And that was like definitely thinking out of the box for us because I don't really have kids. Other guys in the band have kids, and it was always like one of these things like, should we do a kids album? But we opened and we did this project with Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yeah, I remember them.
Right?
I have a 13-year-old. She used to watch that shit when she was little. Yeah.
We did this show, man, at Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yeah.
I was standing in the hallway and I'm seeing the merch table, bro.
Oh.
4 lines, 12 people deep.
Come on.
I haven't seen that kind of merch action since AC/DC at the Forum. I was like, damn. I'm like, dude, we got to get on this train, buddy.
I was saying, but you guys do well with merch. You guys do really well. You create some cool stuff.
We do all right. We do all right with the merch, but what I'm saying? Like I said, it's like, at this point, that's our like little lifeline, because 97-8% of our bread and butter money is our gigs, man. Sure, we can get some like, licensing here and there, which we do get, which is a blessing when it comes down the pipe.
Amen.
But it's nothing that we can count on. That's the problem.
Right. Yo, it's so few and far in between. My wife and I have our own band. We go through the same thing. Like you said, when you get those licenses, you're like, oh, thank God, this is awesome. But to try to keep the consistency, it's very difficult.
That's the difficult part.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got like an album like that one Moby record that like everything got licensed on it, like awesome.
But that also had to do with the time too, bro. Come on.
True.
It wasn't as saturated like it is now,
True that. Because nowadays it'd be like, oh, you want a Moby track? Let's not even call Moby.
Right.
My cousin can do it.
Right. Actually, that reminds me. Another film that we both worked on is Happy Feet 2. I played the guitars on that film too, and you guys did some of that. Yeah, some of the music.
Well, what we did with the Happy Feet 2 was that we were in charge of the music for the video game. That's what we did because guess what?
Huh.
To license those songs for the video game would have been like fucking breaking the bank.
Right.
You remember the fucking the caliber of artists that they had on that soundtrack?
Oh yeah,
your James, you name it. So what they did with us was like, okay, guys, there was a Louis Prima song. Can you guys do a Louis Prima-ish song? Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
There was a James Brown song. There was like Under Pressure. So basically what we did is that we copied the style and we wrote in that style, which was actually really fun for us, because some of these styles we wouldn't do in Ozomatli,
Right.
So to write an Under Pressure style like song, and then they used that music for the video game. That's our connection for it.
Well, super dope, super dope. Yeah. Man, I love all this information, man. It's like, I just, some of my questions are going right out the window because you're answering them before I can even ask them. I love the vibe. All right.
Yeah. Whatever you want to know, brother. I'm here, man.
I love it. I love it. So you guys have done a lot of cool things as a band, like we talked about some of the associations. And do you guys have any dream collaborations that haven't happened yet? You're like, yo, if we could do something with this person.
Oh man.
Or even you personally.
We've been blessed to have some amazing collaborations in our career.
Indeed.
So like I remember when we first started, we were all about like that Fania shit, that New Yorican salsa, Puerto Rican. We were big, obviously, into the Cuban thing.
Yes.
Los Van Van, Irakere, know. So, like we got to work with Johnny Pacheco. We got to work with Yomotoro. Like from the beginning, we were like huge Eddie Palmieri disciples. And like by the fourth album, we got Eddie Palmieri to be on the album.
Man. That's so
that was like, man,
come on, that's the pinnacle, man. Yeah.
Dave Hidalgo, like he does this whole beautiful piano intro. We've had Dave Hidalgo. We've collaborated with De La Soul, Common. Man,
so much
just
cool shit.
So many people through the years. People who we haven't collaborated. Oh, of course, Santana. Of course, duh.
Right.
Like, it would be ridiculous for me not to mention him because, in many ways, he like put us under his wing in a lot of ways as a young band that was really, really thirsty, And we were ready to fucking walk through glass, man, just to be on the road and do whatever's, like this is a super cool thing. It's like, I think, let's see if I have it. Where the fuck I put it? Hold on 1 second here. I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
So this is a set list that I framed. Wow. Santana set list, August 24th, 1999, Idaho Center, Boise, right? Now, right here, you see on the bottom, it says with Ozomatli, And we played on like Bacalao con Pan, which is a real famous Irakere song, and like, we played on like 3 or 4 songs, man. And we were basically his horn section for that tour. And for us, that was already enough. That was enough.
Right.
But dude, by the end of the tour, this guy ends up handing us all checks for being the horn fucking guy.
Why?
For that fucking tour. And that always resonated with me because he was always,
wow.
Dude, that tour was almost like a conservatory, like a summer music camp, because not only do you have Santana, like, hey, come in here, man, listen to this, like the first time I ever heard Femi, I had heard Fela Kuti. First time I ever heard Femi Kuti was with him because he's like, listen to this, it's Fela's kid. Like, whoa,
wow.
Listen to this. Like he had Benny Rigfield on the bass, who played with Miles Davis.
Right. Wow.
He had a CT, Chester Thompson, on keys on that band. One of the main guys from Tower of Power, like OG guys.
Yeah.
Like he had these people that we could like talk to and interact. Of course, the percussionist, R.I.P. Raul Ricao, and the other homeboy. And it's like Carl Pedazo. It's like we had these heavy duty dudes that we were able to jam out with backstage and just hang out and talk about like really respecting your elders and seeing like how these heavy duty cats have come along, man. And really, really, really important tour for us. And then when we did the tour with him and Maná, forget it, bro. We were like 20-year-olds, like frothing at the mouth, because it's like, here we are, the first band rocking it, trying to give it our all, trying to kill it.
Right.
And then we would have the rest of the time trying to just like party with people, you know? Just like, it was nuts.
Wow. That is so cool, man.
Yeah.
Dude. All right. And finally, look, last question. I don't want to take too much time. Here's the big one. Proverbial drum roll, right? What would you do if you weren't a career musician?
Damn, that's a tough one. Well, I could always say, like, I guess do something in Jiu Jitsu, because I like that. And I guess I have the credentials for it, you know, do something with it, you know, if I really wanted to, you know, because not too many people make it to black belt. But if you would have asked me a long time ago, I would have been like, work at a record store. I'd be down for that. That would have been cool, but there isn't any of them anymore.
Man, you'd be so good at a
walker shit, man. I don't know, man.
You'd be so good at a record store. Every time somebody would come in to serve, you would just give them this whole freaking backstory and encyclopedic information, you know?
Oh, dude, and that's the thing when you,
so awesome.
You know, I had a friend who was a manager at Aaron's, and because of him, you know, my collection had like tripled during that time.
Yeah.
But that was always the cool thing about music. And to this day, I apply that to music, jiu-jitsu, any art that I do, is that there's always something you don't know. There's always somebody that's better than you in a certain thing. And there's always something new to be learned, to get hip to. And especially when we were like being cultural ambassadors, when we were like, you know, traveling to like and touring countries that like nobody goes to, right?
Yes.
Like I was getting hip to music that if it wasn't for me being physically there, I probably would have never heard in my life.
Right.
And that's always exhilarating for me, man. That's always like, oh my God, like nobody back home knows about this shit. You know, like coming back home and like I even remember like one of the first trips we ever did was we paid for ourselves and we went to Cuba, because at that time, like no Americans were there and the sanctions were pretty hard, you know?
Right.
But our mentality at the time was like, we want to go see the baddest on the island play. We want to see the music.
Yes.
So we flew from Mexico to over there. And I remember coming back with music and hipping guys here, be like, yo, listen to this, man. and
wow.
Just blowing minds, you know? Wow. And that's always like a musician kind of like hard on thing, right? Like to play your buddy something that blows their mind too. Yeah. Where they're not just like keeping it cool and being like, yeah, it's all right. No, where they're like, Mike, what the fuck is that? Yeah, you like that, huh? Yeah. You like that, huh? You like that, huh? I know you can't have a copy, motherfucker. You know, yeah. So like in Cuba, we experienced that type of vibe, and in like Mongolia, India, of course, in North Africa, there would be times where we were listening to music where it'd be like, man, like Madagascar. Like, dude, when I heard of Malagasy music, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, oh my God, this is a groove I've never heard in my life, man.
Wow.
You know?
Man, that's okay. You just blew my mind, and you didn't even show me anything, but just the concept of listening to all these different regions. And all right, and you know what? We got to touch on that, because you guys do advocate for the farm workers' rights and immigrants' reform. Can you touch on that real quick before we wrap?
Well, one thing with Ozomatli is that it's always kind of been part of our kind of like ethos that whatever we felt was important in the band to like, if it was like immigration, helping immigration reform, or helping farm workers, or helping something, if everybody was on board, like, let's use our voices and our music and our presence to support that.
Yes.
So like our first couple of years, honestly, we were like the house band for every cause in LA, man. It's like awesome. We were always playing for some demonstration or some benefit, some rally, some shit. And that's how we kind of got around. And it's always been, I think, something important with us that we feel is kind of like, you know, and that's the other thing too, is that causes and issues from that point to this point have evolved and changed, obviously. And there's some things haven't changed. Shit. Some things are still fucked up, right? And it's still
crazy,
something that still needs attention and still needs reform. You know, obviously immigration being one of them. And it's like, but it's something that's just part of the band. And we, you know, because of that kind of vibe, you know, we've been able to have these amazing moments where you're sharing your music, and it's not about the money at that point. It's about lifting souls, lifting spirits, having them come up to you and being like, thank you for motivating me to do the next level of work.
That's right.
You know, and that's huge for a musician, you know, like have someone say that your art and your music helped them in some way to overcome something really, really heavy. And shit, sometimes I don't even know what to say when sometimes people come up to me and like, I've had people come up to me and say like, they went through something really, really bad, whether it's an accident or something immensely tragic, and that I could never fathom, you know? And they're telling me that the music that I was a part of helped them get through it. It's just like, wow, like all I can be is appreciative and thankful and be like, I'm glad that happened to you, because in the same way that that's happened to you, I've had artists around me, my elders, that's happened to me, right? You know, like I've always said, like, if it's come down to it, Jack, and I'm almost like in a vegetative state, put some Sony headphones on me, bro.
Yeah, the good
Put
ones.
a Love Supreme.
There you go.
John Coltrane's A Love Supreme, and let that morphine drip hard, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how I want to go.
That's
right. Just listening to something beautiful that transcends me, and you know, I know that I'm sure music being so important in your life, I'm sure you have music and artists that change your life. So it's so important. That type of connection is just so much more valuable in some ways that money could ever be, you know?
That's right.
The material, you know?
That's right, man. And that's it, man. Attitude of gratitude for those moments. And for when those people tell us stuff like that. What can we do but be grateful? You're absolutely right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So,
yeah, man.
Uli, this has been amazing. I am honored that you spoke with us today. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you for having me. Much appreciation, much love to all the people who are toiling the mines of the music industry here.
That's right.
And I hope whatever I said can be advantageous to your trek in this canyon of the music industry. Oh man, it's fucking crazy. It's fucked up.
That was well put. That was well put. Thank you, brother.
That's yeah. No, I hear you. No, and that's the thing. That's one of the things too. And I'm just gonna end with this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like as far as the band is concerned, a lot of us are on this tip like, okay, when this all is said and done and it all ends, what's going to be the climate? How are people going to want to, is everybody going to want to rush out? People are going to be more laid back or not want to come out. Right. How do we motivate this? And how do we survive to that point? Because that's the other thing. It's like, how many bands are going to make it over the hump here? Because you got to think between the bands that are in debt to you name it,
right,
to the bands who have a lot of people they have to support, you know, it's like, how are they going to survive, you know? So it's always good to project on how, like, you know, when things open, how are things going to happen? And if you can, be prepared to hit the ground running. You know what I mean? Because believe me, you know, shit, like my touring bag is collecting dust, and I don't like that.
That's right. That's right. Because you guys just recorded a new album recently, right? Or you're working on it still.
And that's the thing, you know, so it's like, here we are with a new album. So again, like how do we deal with this new music, especially at this moment? Do we wait? Do we wait till we can actually properly tour it? Or do we just throw it into the void where most likely it won't do shit because it's like 1,001 other things, million things are out there?
Yes.
Or do we double down and maybe could possibly go into debt and actually hire a bunch of team of publicists to basically start fucking waving flags and burning houses, which is another strategy, right? You know, like, cause that's what sometimes it takes. It's like getting a team to all of a sudden be like, hey, everybody, Ozomatli has new music. You know, it's like, because if you throw it into the void, you know, as much as I do and everybody else does, shit, it could be the fucking baddest piece of music that you ever done in your life. And you'll get like 5 people listening to it, man, you know? And it's not, you know, it's just, it's the environment and it's how it is. And it's something that we have to overcome in how to promote ourselves, how to push ourselves, how to fucking, you know, get it out there. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's people who are way better at it than me, even obviously, like that have like either a method or they have a strategy or they know this. All I know is that I listen to people and then we powwow amongst ourselves in the band about a consensus, you know, about how to do it.
So true. But again, that goes back to your strong business ethic as a band. You guys know how to come together and deal with some of the hardest issues and get it done. Obviously, just look at your success.
Yeah, but then, you know, that's the thing. It's like, maybe our model might not be the one that might be the best for your band.
Right.
Maybe it might be, you know, because I just know from personal experience that I've seen so many bands where it's like, here's 2 guys, you know, that are getting all the publishing money. And then just like in that movie, the NWA movie, y'all are having lobster for breakfast. I'm having fat burger. You know what I mean? That was that scene like really resonated in me. Yeah. You know, where Eazy-E's having, you know, a brunch with the manager, they're fucking chomping on breakfast, but the, you know, the creative guys are fucking still eating burgers. So you know, and what happens in those instances is resentment. And you know, why is that guy fucking driving a nice car and I'm still in my bucket? You know, why is that? So we had to figure something out early on and how to like deal with that. And maybe there's other creative ways to deal with it, you know?
But you guys found your lane. You guys found your lane.
Well, we figured out a way to do it that is for the betterment of all of us all together, you know? And that's really what it's about. And it's maintained us a certain amount of security, because for the longest time, you know, it's like, you know how it is. It's like you get paid gig to gig. And we were like, no, we got to get paid monthly. So we had to set it up like that, where there was always a certain amount of money to pay out, you know, people. And when we didn't have that certain amount of money, well, then we had to take a bite of the shit sandwich, you know? But it was always about keeping that amount where, you know, however amount that we were having that month, whatever, you know, when we first started, it was very little, but we were able to grow it, you know? So it's given us that longevity that as a band that, you know, us as middle-aged men now can still, hopefully when everything is said and done, we can still tour and we can still play and we'll still be able to, like, you know, draw the crowds.
I believe that day is coming, man, and you guys are going to crush that shit.
Hey, like I said, dude, I'm ready, bro. You tell me right now that there's a gig and there's like and it's the size of a closet and I have to buy a drink, I'll do it.
You'll do it. Well, I might try to get you over here to the studio and I'll give you a drink.
Right. No, I mean, you know, that's the thing, you know, and I've done some sessions during this quarantine time. You know, record stuff and send it out.
Sure.
There was even one time where the guy wanted me to show up to the studio and I did that.
Right.
You know, but then it's all like super paranoia vibe because everyone's all like, don't infect me and shit.
Right.
But, you know, it's
legit.
And you know what's crazy, man? At that session, I was having such a good time. And it was like, it was a good session because it was a track with a lot of horns in it and not simple lines either. Like it took me time to like learn the shit, right?
Right.
And I was having such a good time just laying down these horn lines and just being in the midst that like I walked in all like, all right, let me hear it back. And people were just kind of like, dude, you got to put your mask back on. Like I had forgotten.
Right.
I had totally was back in the moment of like, what quarantine?
Right.
I'm fucking grinding, man. This is the shit. Like I'm fucking playing music again, you know?
Oh man. All right, Uli. I mean, bro, I can't say enough. You're the man.
It's all good. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. And thank you for having this type of content because it's what's necessary for, you know, again, you know, like all you young cats out there, all you young musicians who are wanting to make this your life, you know, believe me, like it's always best to keep an open mind and hear the advice of like people who've gone through it, who might be able to help you, you know, because the last thing you need is to be, you know, stuck in a situation that's basically going to force you to stop playing music. You're going to be like, fuck music,
right.
You know? And I know I've had that moment sometimes where I'm just like, you know what, man, fuck music because the industry, not playing, not having, you know, but the
business,
industry and what it is, the business, fuck this shit, you know? But, you know, then something will happen and something will either reinvigorate me or make me see it differently or whatever, or just call it a day and take the L, as the kids say, you know, just fucking take the L and just move it on, you know, and just try to find the next win, you know, and that's, you know, that's life, man.
So awesome.
Your value is not determined by the gig. Learn more by listening to the Career Musician Podcast, streaming everywhere.
Subscribe to the brand new Career Musician YouTube channel, now streaming all of the Career Musician Podcast episodes.
I'm just a nomad, nowhere man, writing the songs in this one-man band. A nomad, yeah, I'm a nomad. Hush now, darling, you'll be fine. I'll be back this way. Hey, this is Nomad, host and creator of the Career Musician Podcast, and I am thoroughly stoked to be an official member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Pantheon Podcast Network is the first of its kind as an all-music-based podcast collective. Please be sure to check us out at pantheonpodcast.com for more info.